we're going to get started standing as always. So have your music at the ready, and then when you're set up, come to stand at the top of your mat, walking your feet hip width. I'm gonna turn my heater off straight away. I feel like I'm not gonna need that today. Okay, so coming to bring the feet underneath the hip bones. So we've got a little space just to begin with. And then take a few moments as you really kind of feel the floor with your feet. So you might just maybe rock a little backwards or forwards or side to side, or maybe you just take a moment to pick up your toes and spread them really, really wide, and then almost imagine that you're individually placing each toe down one at a time, even if that can't actually happen. I can't do that. If you can, definitely put it on the chat, because that would be really cool. But try and imagine that you could just spread and place each toe down individually. And then we find this kind of weightiness that grounds down through the feet and allows our legs just to become these roots for us to then grow from. So once we ground down, we find this subtle rising energy that begins to lengthen up through the front of the body. So the thighs begin to lift, the hips begin to rise, the heart lifts, the crown lifts. And then the back body softens. We wash softness down the shoulder blades, down the lower spine, through the tailbone, through the back spine. And then close your eyes if you haven't already. And just take a couple of moments here as you stand tall and stand centered and grounded into your Tadasana. Just taking a few moments to ground more energetically. As we begin that process, we begin that journey of just kind of moving away from whatever it was you were just doing. Releasing attachment to the last person that maybe you spoke to. Releasing attachment to the last task that you were completing or thought that you were thinking. And just allow yourself these first couple of moments to do nothing other than land. Into the space of the body, into the space of our practice. And acknowledge that, you know, straight away, you've already done the hardest bit. You've made it onto your mat. It's a Monday evening. How amazing is it that you have taken the time out to actually step into this space, to unroll your mat, to put on, you know, your meeting and arrive here. So straight away, give yourself a little appreciation for that. And then see if you can use tonight's practice to celebrate this, to celebrate the fact that you're here, to celebrate that despite everything, despite all of the craziness that we're having to go through, and despite all of the shifts and the changes in mood and energy and physical body, you are here, standing tall and proud in your body. So as we move tonight and as we breathe tonight, can you let this be a celebration of the self and all that is light and joyful and all that is maybe a little dark and challenging within yourself. And we see our practice as this kind of sacred time to move out of the space of the thinking, chattering mind and back into the space of the feeling, grounding body. If there is a personal intention or a sankalpa, an intention from the heart that you'd like to pull forward for tonight's practice, then take a few moments here just to maybe really see that, you know, kind of see it in your mind, see those words, see that sentence, almost as if it was written on a piece of paper. You can imagine that you're writing out your intention. Maybe it's a affirmation that starts with I am, or maybe it's a word that you really want to embody tonight. Maybe it's a dedication to somebody. You dedicate your practice to someone in need of a little more love and care. And once you have your intention, or if you've decided just to practice with complete freedom and just focus on the breath, let's take a full inhale through the nose, like you're kind of drinking in your intentions and those thoughts of loving kindness. And then open the mouth and sigh, releasing away anything that maybe you don't need to bring with you into tonight's movement. Take that again. So huge breath in, drinking in what you need. And then big sigh as you release and as you clear, let it go. And then we close the mouth as we move into our Ujjayi pranayama, breathing in through the nose. Hugging the muscles in the back of the throat towards one another as you exhale. Hearing yourself breathe, hearing the breath as it fills and floods and then empties through your body. Take just one more like that, full breath in to refill, recharge. And full exhale just to completely empty, completely let it go. Now before we move into Surya Namaskar A, we're just going to flutter the eyes open, hook the thumbs together just in front of your legs, and then take your arms all the way up and over your head. And as the arms rise up on top of or up by your head, I know you can't really see me, so I'm just going to squat down, but keep standing. You reach higher through the fingertips, take a huge breath in as you press down through the feet, rise through the arms. And then exhale, take a little lean towards the right hand side. Try and keep your hips in center, so we're not pushing them to the left. Keep them grounded, and from your belly button upwards, we curve to the right. Good. Inhale, we rise to center. Exhale, take it all the way to the left. Low belly is engaged, tailbone is nice and long, bottom of the glutes is slightly engaged. Breathe in to rise up. As you exhale, send more weight to your toes, send your hips forwards, and then imagine that you are arcing your arms up and back. So rather than forcing a big back bend straight away, just let your arms be heavy and let the chest follow. Breathe in. And on your exhale, let's bend the knees. Release the hands past your legs and up and over, interlacing your fingers. Now pause, bend the elbows. Rest your thumb knuckles onto your sacrum. And then relax the head. We're going to squeeze the elbows and shoulders up and back together like they could touch. And then try and start to press the heels of the hands together. Then from there, try and maintain that sensation of squeezing heels to hands. And then begin to lengthen the arms up and overhead. And if they don't want to fully straighten, they don't have to fully straighten. Take a couple breaths just to be and maybe explore a little movement here. Maybe you wiggle the shoulders right to left. Maybe you pedal through the legs a little or sway your head, yes and no. Just checking in, taking really what feels good, what's most kind of serving for you and your body this evening. Take a full breath in. Full exhale as you bend the elbows, melt the fingertips to the floor, bend the knees, tuck your chin, and in slow motion, let's roll all the way up to standing. One more cycle, just the same, but a little bit faster. We hook the thumbs. Inhale, raise the arms up and over your head. Exhale, we take a little bend over to the right hand side. Good, using your breath in to rise. And using your exhale to curve to the left. As you inhale, come up through center. Exhale, send the weight forwards, hips forward. Think about lifting your ribcage up and then back as you let the arms be heavy. Good, front of the belly opens, but we're still engaging navel to spine. Breathe in. Good, and then exhale, bend the knees, reach your hands past the legs. Again, bend the elbows, interlace your hands, move all of the fingers over one. Squeeze the heels of the hands together, relax your head, squeeze elbows and shoulders energetically together, and then begin to lengthen through the arms. Lift the sit bones to the sky. Try and keep a little more weight rolling to your toes. Breathe in. Good, and breathe all the way out again. One more deep inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, release the hands, bend the knees, tuck your chin, and in slow motion, roll yourself up. Feet stay hip width, or maybe we start to walk the big toes together, heels an inch apart as we get ready for Surya Namaskar A. On your next inhale, big circle of the arms, look to the thumbs. Exhale, touch the palms, soften through the knees, hinge from your hips and fold forwards, relaxing the head and heart. Good. Inhale, rise hands to shins, come up halfway, roll the shoulders. And as you exhale, drop the palms to the floor, stepping your right foot followed by your left foot back and into a high plank pose. Now pause, press down through the palms, spread the fingers wide and really think about pushing the earth away. So instead of sitting in your shoulders, you're pushing down, hugging the heart up and in between your shoulder blades, collecting the belly up into the lower back. Breathe in to roll to the toes, place the knees. And as you exhale, look forwards, bend the elbows past the ribs and come all the way down to your belly. Roll the shoulders back. Lola's doing her own vinyasa just behind the camera. As you breathe in, come up to a low cobra, keep it easy. And then exhale, melt the heart back to the floor. Inhale, press to the knees. Curl the toes under, and as you exhale, send your seat to the sky, rolling all the way up and back into the first downward facing dog of our practice. Good. Now, as always, take these first couple of breaths just to feel, to explore as much or little movement as your body is calling out for. So it might be sways or rocks or wriggles, really anything that you are craving. Take it. Let this be your time to feel, to explore, to really check in and find what feels good, to honor that. Again, letting your practice be this celebration of yourself. When you're ready, breathe in to float to the toes, look at your hands. And as you exhale, bend the knees, stepping the right foot, followed by your left foot forwards. As you breathe in, come up halfway, roll the shoulders back. Good, and then exhale, lean forwards as you bow. Inhale, reach through the feet to rise through the arms, lengthen the tailbone at the top. And as you exhale, we soften the knees, stick the bum up and forward fold all the way back down. Breathing in to find Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to earth, left and right foot step back into plank pose. On your inhale, send your weight forwards. Exhale, place knees, bend elbows, collarbones are wide as you lower down. Roll the shoulders, inhale, heart through to Bhujangasana, maybe a little higher. Exhale, peel the chest back to the floor. Squeeze the elbows. Inhale, press straight to the knees. Curl the toes under. And then exhale to rise, seat to sky. Downward facing dog. Spread the fingers nice and wide here. Press down through the flat palms. As you feel your inner elbows and forearms scoop together, the shoulders roll up and away from one another, creating space for the back of the heart. As the back of the heart widens, we think about lifting through your sacrum and lifting through your bum, so you're lifting the hips even higher. And it's almost like you're being pulled up by your hip creases. And as you find that energy of being pulled up through the hips, we collect into the lower belly. Bring just a subtle energy of your rib cage hugging towards one another. And actually, by taking that kind of overextension of the back out, we've still got a natural curve through the lower back, but if you are very bendy, by taking the overextension out, we can start to work deeper into the shoulder flexibility, which is often why we kind of maybe are a little looser or maybe a little stickier when we work into back bend. Shoulder flexibility can be quite hard to work into. Take another full breath in. Good, one more long full breath out. Inhale, float to the toes, lift to your hands. Exhale, bend the knees and step left and then right foot forwards. We breathe in to rise up halfway. And then we exhale to forward fold. Inhale, reach through the feet, rise the arms and long tailbone. Exhale, touch the palms, soften the knees, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway up, send more weight to your toes. Exhale, hands down, right and left foot to plank pose. One inhale as you shift your weight forwards. Exhale, knees or toes, we lower halfway to chaturanga or onto your belly. Breathing in to rise cobra or upward facing dog. And then this time, just use the strength of your belly to pull up, curl the toes, and rise hips to sky. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Deep inhale. Strong releasing exhale. Inhaling fully. Good, and exhaling to empty. One more breath in. Hearing the sound of yourself as you exhale. Good. Inhale, come to toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, right and left foot forwards. Inhale, rise the heart, offer it forwards. Exhale, we bow all the way back down. Pressing through the feet. Inhale, rise up. Long tailbone, lifted heart. And then last round, exhale, bowing all the way down. Send more weight to the balls of the feet as you breathe in. Rise halfway up, roll shoulders. Exhale, hands root down, left and right foot to plank. Inhale, shift your weight forwards. Exhale for full or half chaturanga. Breathing into a back bend that feels good. Curl the shoulders away, make space for the heart. And then as you exhale, squeeze into the belly and use that to rise you all the way up and back. Downward facing dog. Pausing here. Again, resetting, reconnecting. So rather than using down dog as a little kind of rest where we can hang out into the bone structure and the joints, use it as a time to reset, to recharge, to refill with your breath, to check back in with your body, to find your unique balance of sthira, sukha, asanam. So where can you find more steadiness, more sthira? Where could you find more sukha, more ease in all asana, in all asana, in all postures? Inhale, come to the toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, left and right foot forwards. We breathe in to rise up halfway. And then we exhale to shift the weight forwards as you bow. Pressing into the feet, inhale, circle the arms high, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar B, the first round is going to be a little bit different. Bend the knees, rise up to Utkatasana, chair pose as you inhale. And on the exhale, think heart to thighs, hips to sky, bow forwards. Lovely. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. You can jump to chaturanga or step right and left foot back. Breathe in, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, we rise the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now the weight comes to your left foot. We lift the right heel to the sky, breathing in. And on your exhale, curl in knee to nose, step your right foot softly up by your right thumb. Hop the back toes in a couple inches, heel comes down. The heels are maybe just kind of a fist width between each other, or there's about a fist width between each heel, rather than lining up heel to heel. Bend the right knee deeply, push down through the little touch of your left foot and circle the arms to the sky. We rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. Now pause as you breathe in, drink in the space. And as you exhale, cactus into the arms. We squeeze the elbows wide, draw the shoulder blades together and down your back. Inhale, rise the arms, straighten your front leg. And then exhale, bend the right knee, bend the elbows, open the chest. Last one like this. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open, circle the hands behind you, interlace your fingers, natural grip. Breathe in, press the hands down. See if the heels of the hands can come in closer. And as you exhale, we take humble warrior, bowing forwards and to the inside of your right thigh. So if your ribs kind of hover on the right leg, see if you can take them just a little further to the inner seam of the thigh. You don't have to be all the way down, crown of head towards the floor. You could be a little more in that halfway fold, but try and keep it to the inner leg. Think about tucking the right hip back, then behind the knee. Soften a little bit deeper into that right leg and press into your left little toe. Breathe in. And breathe all the way out. Look forwards. Inhale, squeeze the arms up towards the sky, warrior 1. And as you exhale, release the hands to the floor. Come to the toes of your left foot. Step right foot to meet it. Breathing in. Exhaling through chaturanga. Inhale to lift the chest wide. Exhale to downward facing dog. Weight to right foot. Breathe in, left leg to sky. And then use your entire exhale to sweep the foot forwards. Once the foot comes through, back toes come in, heel down. Press down through both feet and rise the arms to the sky. As the arms rise, think about encouraging your tailbone to point to the floor as your hip bones pull to the ribs. That should create a little more sensation through your right psoas muscle, the front of the hip. Now breathe in for me. And as you exhale, cactus the arms. Squeeze through the shoulders, spread the fingers. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee, bend your elbows. Maintain tailbone down, hip bones up as you open your chest rather than just the lower back. 2 more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, melt and open. Last one, breathing in. It's not going to be very far, that's okay. Exhale, maintain the long tailbone, circle the hands behind you. Interlace the awkward way, so all fingers over one, squeeze the shoulders. Breathe in, send the center of the heart forwards. And as you breathe out, we'll take humble warrior, bowing forwards and to the inside of your left thigh. Again, as you fold, think about curling that left hip behind the knee, soften your left knee over the ankle, and then press down through your right heel, little toe side of the right foot. Good, pause, try and relax your head here. We don't need to hold onto the neck or the jaw. You can let it be a little soft. Breathing in. Breathing out. Press into the feet, spread the toes, look forwards on an inhale, release the hands to the sky. And then exhale, good, wave them to the floor, step to plank on your breath in. And then work through a vinyasa as you exhale. working it in your time, in your own breath, feeling it out. And when you arrive up and back to down dog, we pause, pressing down through thumb and index finger, softening through the balls of the feet. Let the toes spread wide here. Let the heels get heavy, whether your knees are bent or straight, whether the heels are on the floor or miles away, let them be a little heavy. So there's a sense of apana, this kind of downward washing energy that moves through the backs of the thighs. So the higher we lift the hips, the softer we grow through the backs of the legs. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale out. Inhale to toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees. You can jump or take a step right and left foot forwards. Inhale, rise halfway up. And then exhale, bow down into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, root through the feet, bend the knees, rise up, chair pose. And then exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Regular Surya Namaskar B. We inhale to rise up halfway. Exhale, palms down, left and right to plank. Inhale, shift forwards. Exhale, Chaturanga. Grip into the fingertips as you breathe in, squeeze through the low belly, lift the chest. Exhale, down dog. Weight to left foot, breathe in, right heel to sky. Use your entire exhale to step your foot forwards. Inhale, warrior one or high lunge, we lift the arms. And then ride the exhale as you drop your hands to the floor, moving maybe straight to Chaturanga, one breath out, or plank for a breath in, lowering through your vinyasa until you arrive back and up to downward facing dog. When you get there, left leg comes up, we breathe in. And then we step the foot forwards, breathing out. Good, back heel down. Inhale, rise the arms. Use your entire exhale to release the hands, maybe going straight to Chaturanga or breathing in and plank. Exhaling to lower, inhaling to rise, and then exhaling. We all find down dog and we hold it there. Deep breath in. Good, full exhale all the way out. Breathe in fully. And breathe out to empty. Last one, inhale. Strong exhale. Inhale to the toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees. You step or hop to the top. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to bow. Bend the knees. Inhale, Uttanasana, we rise the heart. And on the exhale, we fold straight down. Use your inhale to look forwards, lift the chest. And use your exhale to drop the hands, jumping to Chaturanga or stepping right and left foot back. Work through your vinyasa until you arrive in downward facing dog. There is absolutely no hurry. When you're there, we'll breathe in to lift the right leg. But again, if you're not in time with me, it's cool. Keep going, your breath, step the foot forwards. Inhale to a warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. You might move straight into Chaturanga with one breath out or breathe in and plank. Exhale, knees or toes. Remember your options. You can always take, a little mixy match. Take a little soft vinyasa and then a stronger one. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, footsteps through. Take your time. Use your entire inhale, lifting the arms. Exhaling, hands down. We move with a sense of power, a sense of strength, but also a sense of fluidity. Like you're kind of moving in a way that, makes you feel good. It makes you feel strong but soft, powerful, and maybe a little graceful even. And it's definitely not about how it looks to others. That's absolutely not what yoga is at all. But it's how it feels. And sometimes, practicing with more energy and fluidity and placing the feet softly or using your entire breath to move allows us to find a little more freedom. It kind of makes us feel like we have this wave-like quality, this undulating quality to the body and to the breath. And that can be really beautiful to practice with. On your next inhale, come to the toes, look up. Exhale, the knees bend, we step or jump. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bow forwards. Bend the knees, breathe in, chair pose. And then final round as you exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. I'm going to let you go on your own time, so breathe in, halfway lift. And then exhale, start to work through your flow, through any options that feel good. The only thing I ask is for you to stay with your breath. Stay with your intention. Stay with moving in a way that makes you feel powerful and fluid. And again, I'm here doing it with you if you get lost, if you get stuck, but there's no rush. Once you've done warrior one on your right side, taking a vinyasa. You've done warrior one on your left side, you've taken a vinyasa and you find down dog. That's when we'll all meet each other. So if you go really quickly, it means more breaths in downward facing dog. I don't know, is that a good or a bad thing? And when you are in that downward facing dog, we kind of marinate there for a bit. Check in with yourself. Check in with where the body is starting to maybe get a little fatigued. Has it started to drop into some spaces that maybe we can afford to put more strength in? So if you're really mobile in your back, maybe you notice that your ribs start to flare. Can you bring them in a little? Maybe notice it kind of sink into your shoulders or your wrists. Can you push the earth down? And then check in with where you could soften. Maybe there's more ease you could bring across the face. Maybe you don't need to kind of grip your feet into the floor. And then we breathe. Full inhale in. Good, strong exhale out. As you breathe in, come to your toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, stepping or jumping to the top. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Press down into the feet, bend the knees. Inhale, we rise up, chair pose at Uttanasana. Hold it there. Press the hands together and take them all the way into your heart center. You're going to spread the elbows about halfway forwards, sending the bum a little bit lower and further back behind you. Squeeze thigh to thigh, or if the thighs aren't touching, that's cool, keep them hip width. But imagine that you have something in between them, maybe even grab a couple books or a block and squeeze them in. So there's energy of drawing into the midline, this energetic center line that runs through the body and through the mat. Keep drawing your head and your heart forwards. So we're not collapsing into the spine here, we're pressing it out. Breathe in. And as you exhale, turn to your right hand side, hook your left elbow on top of your right knee or thigh. Now breathe in, fill up your upper belly. And on the exhale, find a little rooting of right palm into left. Spread your fingers, stack the elbows, soften your hips down an inch or so, and can you tuck your right knee back and behind, or sorry, in line with your left, as you rinse out from the upper back. Good. Look to the floor. Breathe in, square the chest, re-lengthen. And then exhale, turn to the left. Hooking right elbow over left thigh. Once you find the twist, it can be kind of tempting to sit on your thighs or to kind of soften the energy through the abdomen. Can you keep drawing navel to spine, hugging the ribs in, and think about lifting up as you twist open. So we're drawing the ribs up and away from the thighs. Sink down a little deeper through your heels. Again, sliding, encouraging that left hip to tuck behind the knee. Breathe in. Exhale the air out. Inhale, look down, square the chest. Exhale, hold it there, sit your bum a little lower, reach your arms forwards, turn your palms to the sky. Squeeze the heels together, turn your toes out, drop your hands, bend your knees. Walk your hands pretty close to your toes. We're going to walk up onto the tiptoes, walk your knees towards your armpits, bend your elbows, lean your shins onto your triceps, hugging your elbows in like chaturanga as opposed to a wide push-up. Look forward, pull into your belly, so rather than again sitting on the thighs, pull the ribs up like you could round your spine so much so that everything kind of hovered away from the thighs. Lean forwards, trust yourself. Now grip into your fingertips until they go white. Squeeze the right heel to the bum, maybe point the toes and then drop them. Maybe left heel to bum, point the toes, maybe drop them. Maybe right foot, look forward, squeeze the belly, lean forwards, trust yourself. Left foot maybe as well. Have a little play, no pressure, it's just there if you fancy it. Give it a go. Good, hold it there, keep going. Good. Yes, good, amazing. When you feel like, okay, I'm done. Feet to the floor, we find a little malasana. So heels in, toes out. Sink yourself down, lift through the chest. Take the hands to heart if you can, yogi squat. Whew, take a breath, rise through the heart, and then from here you're going to curl your fingertips in, keep curling until the backs of the hands come together and the fingertips are pointing to the floor. And then almost feel like you could lift your wrists up and then pull your elbows down so you're stretching through the wrists. Good. One more breath in here. Nice long freeing breath out. Release the hands, just give them a little shake. Drop them to the floor, pick up your hips, turn your toes forwards, heel toe the feet hip width. Bend the knees lots, tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then slow motion, let's roll up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. At the top, inhale, circle the arms high, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling through the nose. And then big open mouth, we sigh the air out. Good. Grab some water if you'd like some. Is everyone okay so far? I'm doing all right so far. I'm gonna take the drinking of water as a good sign. Okay. So, when you're ready, come back to the top of your mat. Walk your feet nice and close together. For this next bit, I'll probably be more towards the screen than demoing, but I'll show you for the first couple breaths. Take your hands to your hips. Take a big step back with your right foot. Turn all of your toes to the long side of the mat. I'm going to face this today so you can actually see what I'm doing. You'll be facing the side. Right foot goes back. The feet are then parallel, so the little toe sides of the feet are parallel to the short edges of the mat. And then from there, turn your right toes to what will be the back of your mat. And turn the left ball of the foot slightly further in, ready for Trikonasana. So there's about a line from the right heel to the left instep. Take the arms wide, turn the thumbs up. Now, with this right leg, with all straight legs in Ashtanga, I would recommend either keeping them straight, but squeezing them up so you're hugging the thighs, or keeping them a little bit soft, which doesn't mean bend, it's just a micro bend into the knee. It's up to you. Take a breath in, pick up your ribs with the heart. And then exhale, look at the right hand as you reach it forwards. Now pin this right hip back for me. Let the left hip dip in just an inch or so you can soften the back of the right hand down, and then lift the left arm up. We find Trikonasana. Now the only thing with letting the pelvis shift is then you have to work a little harder from the belly to create the twist, which isn't a bad thing at all. It just requires more energy. So can you here always feel like you're revolving your right ribs up towards the sky? As your top hand rises. Yeah, good everyone. Spreading through the fingers. And then letting your breath flow. Perfect. Cool. Take a full inhale in. Full exhale out. And then from here, you're going to stay in Trikonasana just for a breath or so longer, and take your left bicep by your left ear, so you're reaching out through the top arm. Turn the little finger slightly down. Now can you press into your left little toe? Imagine that you could lift your left hip higher and create more of an opening through the left side body. Breathe in. Exhale the air out. Now circle your left arm back behind you. Take the back of the hand towards your right hip. Lower back or even fingertips to the thigh. Look at your right foot, bend into the knee, take your right forearm either onto the right thigh for extended side angle, or you could reach the fingertips down towards the floor on the inside of the right foot. And if the fingertips don't quite reach the floor with an open chest, grab a couple of books or blocks and use that to bridge the gap. They don't even have to be books, it could be just any inanimate object. Pull your hips forwards and then arc your chest backwards. We find extended side angle. Crawling that left shoulder open. Gaze maybe comes to the side. Maybe even start to offer it towards the ceiling, but don't just let your neck here. Gazing to the side is plenty of extension for your chest. We root down into the little toe side of the left foot. Keep squeezing left kneecap to bone. Either stay there, if it's in your body for a full bind, go for it. We drop the right elbow underneath the right thigh, reach the right hand up and back, and just reach for the left fingertips behind you. They might not meet. If they do meet, great. You can either just hold the fingers or even reach for the left wrist. And again, squeeze the shoulders back. Breathe in. And exhale all of the air out. Good, look at the floor. Release the hands, start to lift your hips and travel to the long edge of the mat, turning your right toes forwards. As you breathe in, come up halfway, rise to the fingertips. We're in a wide-legged forward fold. And as you exhale, bow down. Shift a little more weight to the balls of the feet here. As you rise, sit bones to sky. Again, these might be micro bent or they might be completely straight and pulled up. As the sit bones tilt higher, keep that collecting of navel to spine. Maybe the hands are soft. Maybe if your arms are quite lifted away from the floor, you catch the elbows and let them dangle. You could even be starting to walk your hands in line with the arches of the feet. Think chaturanga with your arms, bending the elbows back in space. But this shape is all about your legs and your spine. So if you're worried too much about your hands and arms, you might just miss out on the kind of deep release that we can connect to with the hamstrings here. So think more about your legs, your bum lifting to the sky, and then softness pouring down your spine. Let the arms just be an extension of that, and whatever that means for you. Good. Stay here for another breath in. And another breath out. Good. Now inhale, pop up back up onto your fingertips. And as you exhale, take the hands to the hips. Squeeze the elbows and shoulders. Breathe in, rise all the way up. Now you're going to be turning your right toes once more to the back of your mat. Stay where you are, just to confuse things. I'm going to spin around so I'm the same as you guys. Turn your right toes so that they're once more pointing completely to the back. Now this time you're going to pick up your left foot and step it down a little closer to your right, setting up for your pyramid pose, your Parsvottanasana. So with your hands to your hips, feel your hip bones roughly squaring forwards. If they can't, it might be that you just need to step your back foot closer, or make sure that your left big toe isn't turned to the side. It's most likely going to be looking at the top left corner of the mat. Now, a couple of options, three main options. Option one, hold the elbows behind your back and squeeze the shoulders together. Option two, bring the fists to touch, high towards the space below the shoulder blades. Option three, we take reverse Anjali Mudra, pressing the palms to touch. Wherever you are, squeeze the shoulders, curl into the low belly, and then press into your right leg, squeeze the thigh or soften the knee. Inhale. And as you exhale, send the tailbone back in space so that you can bow forwards with a long, straight spine. Come to about a halfway point, or when you can just start to feel things amping up into the back of the right leg, that's when we pause. Now press down into the big toe side of the right foot. Squeeze the muscles in your back leg. Send your bum back. Send the crown forwards. Breathe in. And on the exhale, only if you want to, dip your chest down a little bit lower. You can go as low as you want to, but keep the action of squeezing shoulders. Keep the eyes lightly forward, so we're extending through the spine here. And curling your right hip back, rolling your left hip forwards. Good. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, come up halfway, bend your right knee. Look forwards, rise up to your left big toe, and then push down through your right leg. We rise the left leg up and back to warrior three, so we're in a balance. It's like what you were just in, pyramid pose, but in the air. So right foot is down, but everything else is lifted. Your left leg is rising, so we're flexing the left foot, push out through your left heel. Keep bending your right knee a little to engage through your hamstrings. Lift the left leg as high as it will go without letting your hip open to the side. So we're now using the bum. Breathe in. Exhale, squeeze your left heel to your bum cheek. I know you probably can't see here, but follow my cue. So left heel to bum. You're going to rise to standing, touch the knees together, but keep squeezing left heel to your bum. Look forwards, find a steady spot in front of you. Set your left hand back for the big toe side of your left foot. So we're holding the inner left foot with the left hand. Take your right arm to the sky, ready for Natarajasana, dancer's pose. Connect your right thumb and index finger to Chin Mudra. Soften your standing leg. Breathe in, find buoyancy as you look forwards. And then exhale, we move into that play as you press the left foot up into the palm of the left hand. Flare the left toes, so we're pressing through the ball of the foot, flaring the toes wide. Keep reaching the right arm high, sending the chest slightly forward as you kick the left leg higher. Good, be playful, let it be a dance. If you fall, let it be a part of it. Come back in when you're ready, no rush. Pausing for another breath in. One more breath out. As you inhale, can you take the arms above the head, the left knee to the chest, hold it there. Press down through the right leg, we're in Ekapada Tadasana, one-legged mountain. You're going to soften your right knee, cross the left thigh on top of your right, ready for Garudasana eagle pose. So left leg over right, the thighs are wrapped. Bend into the right leg, you can wrap the left toes around the standing calf if it's in your body but no pressure. Take the arms in front of your shoulders. Step right arm on top of left. Bend your elbows. Wrap forearms, hands and wrists around one another. Inhale, we lift the elbows. Exhale, we sit the bum down, squaring the hips forwards. Lengthen the kind of flesh of the bum down. So it's not like your tailbone is tucking, but it's starting to draw down so you feel space in your lower back. Then can you lift the elbows, but drop the shoulders. Press the forearms away from you, curl into the belly and breathe. You're doing amazing. Full inhale. Full exhale. Step left foot to right. Inhale, circle the arms, look up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Reset the left foot all the way back behind you. Turn the feet so that you're facing the long side of your mat, and then turn your left toes to the front of the mat. So you made it. Okay, other side. So left toes are now pointing probably forwards or whatever you've chosen as the front of the mat. Your right toes are turned in very slightly. Arms are coming by your side. Again, make sure this front knee is engaged, or it's a little bit soft, but it's active. Breathe in. Exhale, reach your left hand forwards, pin this left hip backwards, let the right hip dip in for you just a little. As you release the back of the left hand, right arm floats. We find Trikonasana. Think in triangle pose that you're trying to create space through both sides of the waist. So it's not just about the right side. Think about the left side too. As you draw the hips back, the crown points forwards, and that's what brings space into the left side body. Collect into the low belly, find a little hugging of Mula Bandha in and up, so your root lock, your pelvic floor muscles, your perineum lift up, and that draws strength from the inside out. We encourage the hips to slightly come forwards as you then start to grow your right bicep past your right ear. Reach out through the fingertips, lift the right hip a little higher. Now find more extension through the right side waist. The left side might shorten, so you can really open through the right side body. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, take the right arm up and then circle it behind you as you twist the wrist. We take the back of the hand towards the lower back, right hip or thigh. Look at your left foot, bend the left knee until it steps over the ankle, extended side angle. We take left forearm to thigh, all fingertips to a prop or the floor next to your left arch. If you need to step your right foot away a little to create more extension, go for it. Then hips pull forwards. From the navel upwards, spiral open to the side. Draw the left ribs towards the sky. Curl this right shoulder backwards. Either stay or again, if a full bind is in your body, go for it, but try not to compromise the length of your spine. Once you have a hold of whatever you've got, whether it's a strap or a belt, or maybe you're just reaching, or if you have got the hands, we draw the shoulders, both of them together. Pull the hips forwards, rise through the belly. Press down into the little toe side of the right foot. So try to avoid sinking your hips super, super low here. There's energy through your back leg. Good. Breathing in. Doing amazing. Breathing out. Look at the floor. Release the hands inside of left foot. Lift up through the hips. Travel to the long side of your mat. Toes turn forwards. Heels slightly turn out. Inhale, rise to fingertips. Lift your heart. Exhale, we bow. This time again, arms are up to you. If you can maintain lovely long legs, maintain a sensation through your hamstrings, length through your spine, and walk the hands through the legs and towards the back of the space, you're welcome to. So you can pull the hands through and kind of use the hands to explore, finding more space and more play. What can be quite nice here is if the arms are fully extended, press the palms down to the floor so the fingertips are spread away from you. And then always bend the elbows a little, like you're encouraging the crown of the head to soften further towards the floor. Again, it's not about it touching the floor. It's just a little encouragement, a little play. Doing a little brave here. So we really have to engage the deep core muscles to stay standing, basically. Good. Shift them away to your toes. Breathe in. Breathe all the way out. And then from there, slide the hands to your hips. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hold, squeeze the shoulders. Breathe in, rise all the way up. Again, I'm going to turn so I'm with you. Turn your left toes forwards. Pick up your back foot and step it back down, squaring the hips so that your feet are probably hip bone width or a fist width between the heels. So again, maybe not heel to heel unless that feels good for you. Take your arms behind you, take any option that you're wanting to open your shoulders, so lots of options. Whatever option you're working with, the shoulder heads aren't pulling forwards. The shoulder heads are running up and back. Then from here, we breathe in, press into left big toe, engage the thighs as you lift the heart. Exhale, send your tailbone back, send the crown forwards, and then pause. And the hard bit here is, again, if you are quite open through your spine, is maintaining a little energy of your ribs pulling towards one another without rounding your spine. Try and keep the extension of the heart, keep the extension of the crown of the head. Pressing through the feet, we breathe in. And on the exhale, only if you want to, we go a little bit lower. Squeeze the shoulders. Hug the upper inner thighs energetically together. Breathing in. And exhaling out. Inhale, rise the chest to parallel to the floor. Bend the left knee, keep dropping your chest, come to your right big toe. Now push down through the ball and heel of left foot so that your right leg rises, warrior three. The left knee is bent here, it's not just soft, it's bent. The right heel is kicking up, but we're curling the right hip down in line with the left and then lifting the heel. So everything has got strength and steadiness behind its softness. Squeeze the shoulders, pull the crown forwards, breathe. Full inhale. Strong exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, squeeze right heel to burn. Look forward, start to come to standing. Draw the inner thighs together. Reach your right hand back. Point the right big toe so you can find the inside of the right foot. Maybe wobble up forwards. Cool. Take your left arm up. Hook your left thumb and index finger lightly together. Breathing in. And then exhale, soften your left knee, look forwards, not down. So trust yourself, gaze on the horizon as you press your right foot up and into the right hand. Hold it there. Again, let it be a little dancey. If you wave or flow, that's okay. Let it be a part of the practice. Be kind to yourself. Balances are hard, especially if you're feeling a little bit kind of funny through your mind. Rather than letting that impact you into a space where you're like, oh, I can't balance today. Keep coming back to your breath. Even if you hold it for a second, it's amazing. You're on your mat. How wonderful is that? Just enjoy that. Enjoy the fact that you're here, you're breathing, you're moving. How amazing are you for doing that? And then looking forwards, right arms come up, the right knee comes to the chest. We find Ekapada Tadasana. Press down into the left leg. Cross right foot over left. Now bend your left knee. Eagle the arms, take the arms forwards, cross left elbow on top of the right, wrap the forearms, hug into the belly. So again, archy back people, you will be wanting to stick your bum out here because then we don't really have to engage the core or the legs. Can you lengthen your tailbone, pull in through the belly, and then sit down lower? It's hard. Squeeze the inner thighs together, so actually hug them in. Lift the elbows, draw your shoulders down, and then breathe. Spread the left toes. Inhale, fully. Exhale, empty. Tell yourself you're strong. And breathe with that. Don't let your mind get in the way here. Listen to the body. You might be finding it tough, but it's okay. You're doing it. You're standing. You're breathing. Enjoy that. And then from there, we step right foot to left. Straighten the legs, circle the arms above the head. Inhale, look at the thumbs. And as you exhale, let's forward fold. Split the feet hip width. Find your big toes with your first two fingers. Bend the knees a lot. Breathe in, look forwards, long spine. Exhale, we fold. Send the elbows towards the sides of the room. And then lift the sit bones to the sky. And we pause. Shift more weight to the balls of the feet here for me. Good. Pause. Come back to your breath. And then either stay here or inhale for length. And then exhale, we step the soles of the feet onto the palms of the hands, moving your toes right up to your wrist crease. Check that your heels aren't sneaky like mine. They don't turn in, they stay behind the middle toes. Inhale, soft knees, look forwards. Exhale, stick the bum up to the sky. Lean slightly more weight to the balls of the feet here. And then we fold. If your elbows do bend, send them to the sides and lift the shoulders up and away from your ears. Spread the weight across into the toes. And breathe. Take a couple extra breaths here just to really soften, to let go of any or some of the tension that maybe we started to create through the lower back, through the legs, backs the legs through balancing. Take another deep inhale in. Good, one more exhale out. Gently set the hands away from the feet. As you breathe in, find a halfway lift. And as you breathe out, drop the hands and step both feet back into plank pose. Once the feet come back, we're going to breathe into rock forwards. And then exhale, chaturanga, and go all the way down onto your belly. Now as you come to your belly, we're going to take the arms long by your side, palms of the hands face down to the floor. Now start by just inching your legs together. They don't have to be zipped really tightly, but they're nice and close. To start with, we're going to take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, try and press your hip bones into the floor. Then from here, on an inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, crawl the fingertips down a little more if they have the space to, and then start to lift through the legs. Press out through the balls of the feet, spread the toes, and keep drawing your inner thighs towards one another. Pause and hold it there for me. Good, opening the chest, crawling the arms down, sending the heart forwards. Good, lovely. Take a full breath in. Full breath all the way back out again. And then from there, drop the legs. Come onto the right side of the face. Turn the palms to hands up to the sky. Let your shoulders kind of fall around you. And then breathe. Take a full inhale into the nose. And then open the mouth and let go of the air. One more like that, breathing in. Good, and breathing out. Rest back onto your chin. We're going to take the same thing, but this time with hands, with the hands interlaced behind you. So you can either just take palms down and take the same thing, or hands come onto your lower back. Interlace your fingers. Again, play with squeezing the heels of the hands together here. Then lifting the elbows and shoulders. Bring the legs close. Breathe in. Exhale, pause. Inhale, lift your head, lift your heart, then press the knuckles away from the bum and start to lift the legs. Press out through the balls of the feet, spread the toes, let the neck be long here. Chin is just kind of parallel to the floor. We're not jutting it up, we're not dropping it down. It's nice and elongated. Use your breath to be. Inhaling fully, exhaling fully. One more breath in, lift the heart, lift into the legs. Good, and then exhale, relax. Take the backs of the hands to the floor. This time we rest onto the left ear, the left cheek. Take an inhale through the nose. Open up the mouth and clear the air. One more deep breath in. Slow breath out. Good. Come onto your chin. We're going to bend into the knees this time. Now, a couple of options. You can take a really active and strong Dhanurasana by actually not holding your feet, reaching the arms by your side, and then as you lift up, it all comes from strength, squeezing heels in, reaching the hands back. Or you could work less into kind of hamstring strength, but more into an opening of the shoulders and chest by reaching back to hold on to the little toe sides of the feet with the hands. Now, if you are holding the feet or not, we're just going to spend a couple extra moments getting set up. So drop onto your chin. Start to press your hip bones into the floor, and as you press the hip bones down, can you really think about drawing the heels in towards the center of the bum. Walk your thighs together so they start touching. If the elbows bend, lift them up to the sky. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Now keep your heels squeezing to your bum, and as you inhale, just lift your head and your chest. So the thighs are going to stay down. Now pull your elbows and shoulders up together, and we hold here just for a breath or so. And if this feels delicious and lovely for the thighs, you're going to stay here. If you want, again, a bigger opening through the chest, use a breath in to pause. And then exhale, we press the feet into the hands, and that's what lifts you up. Roll the shoulders back. Think about the center of the heart coming forwards, and then zip your inner thighs towards one another. They don't have to touch, but they're coming in nice and close. Like there's this kind of magnet between the thighs. Good, yeah, amazing work, everyone. Lovely. Breathe in. And then exhale, come all the way down. We're going to keep the feet and going for one more round. So again, you could go hands free, lifting up really, really active. You could keep squeezing heels to bum as you lift up. You could take what we just did, or flip the grip so that you're taking your hands onto the big toe sides of the feet. The only thing I ask for here is that you keep your heels squeezing towards one another. Breathe in to prepare. And breathe out. On your next inhale, we rise to any variation. If you've got the insteps of the feet, it's going to feel a little more opening for the forearms, wrists, and a little deeper for the center of the chest. So have a play. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another, heels towards one another. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, lower yourself down, relax the feet, take the hands underneath your shoulders. Breathe in, push to the knees. Exhale, curl toes. Let's rise to a downward facing dog. Pause. Take a little movement through your hips. Breathe in through the nose. And then open the mouth and clear the air, let it go. Inhale, come to the toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees. We're going to step or jump all the way through to a seat. As you find your seat, take your left leg out in front of you. Bend the right knee towards your body, and then cross your right foot on top of your left thigh, or over to the outside of the thigh. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to bend your left knee so that your knee is bent, heel is next to your right bum cheek. Right fingertips go behind you, whatever option you're working with. Left arm goes up to the sky, we breathe in to lengthen. And on the exhale, either hug the knee in with your forearm or take the elbow to the outside of the knee and twist. Use a breath in to lengthen through the spine, lift the crown a little bit taller. Good, and as you exhale, create more of a twist, more of a rinse by revolving open. Good. And a nice little cue here, when you're in your twist, a nice little cue just to kind of play around with, is keeping your chin in line with your sternum, as opposed to twisting your head all the way around. So maybe keeping the chin just in line with the sternum, so the focus is more of the twist in the belly rather than your neck. As you breathe in, send your head forwards. As you exhale, take a little counter twist to the left side, just a little rinse out. Good. And then face forward, heel toe this right heel up towards your left outer hip. So we're now in Gomukhasana, cow face pose, which is like eagle pose, but seated. And if it's too much, again, either straighten your left leg, you can sit up on a block, that's a really nice prop, or cross right shin in front of left, Sukhasana, cross-legged pose. Then from here, lift your left arm towards the sky. Bend the left elbow, right hand to the left elbow, crawl the fingertips down. Either stay there or full Gomukhasana, right arm circles up the back, reaching for the left fingers. If they bind, they bind. If not, don't worry about it. You can keep reaching or kind of make a little strap with your top. Maybe you lean the head into the left forearm, rising still through the belly. We breathe in to lengthen. And on the exhale, ground through the seat and start to lean forward. So keep the bum pressing down as you start to pull the heart forwards. Can you keep a little length here of the neck? So the back of the head is kind of pressing up into your forearm. Take a full breath in. Good, full breath all the way out. On the inhale, rise up. Release the hands, take them out in front of your shoulders. Now roll the shoulders down the back. Curl into the belly. You're going to lean into your sit bones, unravel the legs and find the Tadasana. Either taking the hands onto the backs of the thighs for some support or stretching them forwards. Roll the shoulders, pick up your heels. If you can see the colour of my toenails, I really apologise. They are horrific. It was the only varnish I could find. Some old bottle from like 10 years ago, who knows. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, we cross the feet, squeeze the heels to your bum, reach forwards, hands down, you can step, or you can take a little jump back, maybe straight to chaturanga or plank, work through a vinyasa, a flow, until you come all the way up and back to downward facing dog. Yeah, amazing work, lovely everyone, beautiful. Good, you guys are absolutely smashing it as always. I know I say it every time, but you really are. When you're in down dog, just pause. Take a moment for yourself to breathe, to come back. Inhale, pop up to the toes, look up. Exhale, bend the knees. We're going to find a seat again. So bending into the knees, we either step or we jump all the way through to the bum. Lengthen your right leg. Bend the left knee, cross the left foot over the outer right thigh. Either stay with that or lean to your right hand for a moment, bend your right leg so you're not sat on the heel, but it's pretty close to your left bum cheek. Left fingertips would move back, right arm rises up, we breathe in. And on the exhale, either hug the forearm to the thigh for a twist or take your elbow to the outside of the thigh. Inhale, lengthen through the crown. Good, and then exhale, can you draw your shoulder blades together and use that to create a twist? Kind of as a little experiment, see if you can lift your left hand just for a moment. Nothing should really change. We're still using deep core here to create most of the twist. Good. Breathing one more full breath in. Good, and one more full breath out. Inhale, pull the head forwards. Exhale, take a little counter, release to the other side. And then from there, we face forwards. Walk your left heel up to the outer right hip. So moving into Gomukhasana. Sometimes I feel like you just kind of have to pick up your bum and wiggle the feet around and then reset. Again, if that's not working, cross left shin in front of the right or straighten your bottom leg. Just left leg crosses over. Take your right arm towards the sky. Bend the elbow, left hand to right elbow. Just encourage the fingertips back. See if you can start to, without moving your head and twisting your neck here, keep your head aligned through center, and then see if you can almost lean the head into the right forearm. Glue right palm down, either stay or keep it glued. Left hand goes wide, thumb turns to the floor. We then bend the left elbow up the back. So you've created an internal rotation before then finding the fingers or your top, and then we draw the shoulder blades together. Breathe in, find more and more length, and then either stay upright or, as you exhale, pull the weight of the heart forwards. Keep sending the hips down, leaning the head gently up and into the right forearm. We breathe here. Easing into the hips, the outer thighs, to the shoulders that work really, really hard for you to practice. One more deep breath in. Good, one more deep breath out. Beautiful. Inhale, come up. Release your hands. Let them just kind of float out in front of your shoulders. Roll the shoulders down, turn the palms up. We curl into the belly as you lift up, lean back. Keep lifting the chest and find Navasana. Yeah, nicely done. So hands to the thighs is a nice option. Hands out in front of you, heels in line with the knees. You could straighten the legs. You could take the arms above the head. You could do both. You could do neither. It's up to you. So I'm going to let it be your practice, but know that for the next 2 breaths, this is your last Navasana. So go fill out, whatever you need to do. Breathe in, breathe out. One more inhale, and then exhale, let's vinyasa. So crossing the ankles, squeezing in, hands down. You can step, you could jump, whatever you need to do. We're going to work through a flow, ironing through the spine, breathing fully and deeply until you come to downward facing dog. Good work. Breathe in through the nose. Open the mouth and clear the air. Inhale to toes, lift up. Exhale, bend the knees, we find a seat, stepping or jumping. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet come together, knees come nice and wide. We're going to take a pretty short Baddha Konasana here, so really working into the hips, squeezing heels in. Hands could be on the ankles, you could wrap them around your toes, or a nice option, my favourite option, is to take your thumbs onto the big toe sides of the balls of the feet, and then encourage the feet to peel open like a book. Inhale, we press down through the sit bones and rise through the crown. And on an exhale, keep that energy of the spine and start to pull the heart forwards. And as your heart presses forwards, the shoulders curl back. You might find that your elbows are happy, just kind of resting where they are. You can take them onto the inner thighs and lightly press down. And be mindful of taking the elbows to the calves and pressing down, just 'cause quite a lot of pressure on your knees. So maybe just have them resting as opposed to pressing. Or if you have the space to keep the spine long and take the elbows to the outsides of the shins, then it can be quite nice to press against the shins to pull the heart forwards. And then go really big with your breath for these final 2. On your inhale, lift yourself up, pull the knees together. I'm going to leave it up to you. You can either reach your arms forwards and take a very, very slow roll down onto your back, or cross the ankles, go through a vinyasa, then come onto your back. So whenever you're ready, we find our way onto our back, but you can go through a flow and then step or jump to a seat and roll down, or just slowly, slowly, slowly roll down. And when you are all the way down, bend the knees, feet come flat to the floor. Good work, you guys. Walk your heels really, really close towards your bum once you're on your back. And take the hands flat by your side. I'm going to come up to a seat just to talk you through it, but stay on your back for me. So a couple of opportunities to open even further through the front of the body. Just before we move into our little back bending closing sequence, I just want to make it really clear that, it's the evening, and if you're finding it hard to fall asleep at the moment, just be mindful of taking big back bends in the evening. They're really energizing poses, so you might just want to keep it to a bridge. But with that said, if you are a wheel pose junkie, then go for it. I love a wheel pose, and it can feel really lovely to open the heart as well, especially if you are feeling a little gloomy or down today. So I'll stop rambling. Hands by the side, feet are flat to the floor. We rise to bridge pose, breathing in to prepare. And then exhale, big press through the heels. We lift the bum, the lower back, the mid back, maybe some of the upper back. At the highest point of bridge, play with first finding the full extension of your hips. So you squeeze the bum, you send the hips up. Then when they can't go any higher, we wriggle the shoulders underneath you. Interlace the hands the awkward way if you can. And then find a little press down through the upper arm bones. Send your hips high. Send your heart high. Good, and breathe here. Bring a little more energy of your inner thighs slightly rotating together. Good. Your toes are pointing straight forwards. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, split the hands, come up onto your tiptoes first, and then vertebrae by vertebrae. Let's peel the spine to the floor. Taking your time. Once your back is down, just relax your heels, take a moment in center to just be. You can shift and move if you want to, otherwise just find stillness and let yourself drink in that. Good. And then from here, we take one more. So it might be a bridge pose, it might be a wheel pose, Ardha Dhanurasana with your hands up by your shoulders. Or if you're done, we take the feet together, knees wide for a Supta Baddha Konasana, supine butterfly. Otherwise, deep breath in to prepare, arms are by your side or up by your shoulders. And on the exhale, play with rising, lifting through the hips, low back, mid back, upper back. Again, if you're coming all the way to a wheel pose, count your breaths, stick 3 to 5 deep, full breaths here. Again, keep an energy of your inner thighs rotating slightly in. Good back, lovely everyone. Nice. Good, good, good. Yeah, amazing. Any variations are welcome. And then when you're done, come down and find a Supta Baddha Konasana. So feet come together, knees are wide. And then you might keep the hands on your body. That can be really lovely and comforting, or you might be really kind of craving space and you grow the arms above the head and let the elbows fall, or let the backs of the hands fall and just completely soften. Take the hugest breath that you've taken all day. And when you physically can't breathe in anymore, open your mouth wide and clear the air. Take your hands to your thighs, pull your knees together, and then pull them into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze, a big cuddle. This might be a really nice opportunity for a happy baby, taking your knees to your armpits. You might pull yourself into a little ball, drawing your head towards your knees. You can even take a couple breaths in like a halasana, a plow pose, if you want to, if you feel the need to kind of really flex the spine. Let this be a little freedom to feel, to explore, to enjoy the feeling of your body closing and collecting. Maybe a twist, anything that you fancy. And then in your own time, when you're ready, let's move into Shavasana. And you might again go for a kind of big, wide, spacious Shavasana, lengthening the legs and the arms into a big kind of starfish shape. You might be craving more connection to yourself. Maybe you come to a sideline Shavasana where you can take your feet as wide as your mat and let your knees knock in together with them bent. I love a Supta Baddha Konasana for Shavasana as well. If you, like me, just love that, then take it. It's not traditional, but it's great. It feels great, then take it. When you're ready, close your eyes and just give yourself permission, to fully rest. You've done more than enough. You've not only made it through your entire day, but you've also now stepped onto your mat and made it through an entire practice. How, again, wonderful is that? And do really let yourself bathe in that self-appreciation. It's something that we so often shy from, maybe especially as women, just kind of shying from pride for ourselves and pride for our strength and our power, but embrace it, live in that pride, and really let yourself feel it, take it on. And I've been sharing quite a few poems recently, and just because I'm finding that they are such a lovely way of experiencing difficulty and kind of finding clarity through challenges. Matt Haig is one of my favorite poets, and I really recommend just even going on his Instagram and reading some of his. And this is kind of a funny one, but I really like this, so I wanted to share this with you. And he writes, experience one beautiful thing a day. Read a poem, play a favourite song, watch an old classic film, paint the sky, make a lemon drizzle cake, whatever. It can be big or small, but do it completely. Read the whole poem, listen deeply to the song. No day is wasted that contains one total experience of beauty. And gently just begin to notice without moving or shifting. Notice what's around you. Hear any sounds around you. Smell any scents around you. Taste anything that might be lingering on your tongue. Maybe even just for a moment, kind of blink the eyes open and just take in any colours and shapes and textures that are above you. And then take this big, kind of buoyant breath and feel your belly, your ribs, and your chest all expanding. Before just opening the mouth and kind of blowing the air out. We then create these little sparks of movement that bring or pull into your fingertips and into your toes. Maybe you wriggle your jaw, your mouth, maybe you ease the head a little from side to side. Maybe this turns into bigger movements, or maybe you're happy finding this softening for just a moment longer. And when you're ready in your own time, come to bend the knees, roll to your side, and however you like to, make your way up to a tall seat. We rest the backs of the hands to the thighs, closing down the eyes, and just taking this final moment of your practice, just to be with yourself, to be with that fullness of breath experience in the body. Pulling forward, again, this extra offering of gratitude for yourself, for being here, for stepping into the practice and space, and moving with intention, moving with love and power and grace and strength and softness. We're gonna finish our practice tonight like we've been doing recently with a round of Brahmari, humming bee breath. It's a really lovely way to just kind of close off the practice and come back into yourself before entering the rest of your evening. But you don't have to join me if you'd rather not, but the invitation is there if you fancy it. We bring the hands together in front of the heart when you're ready. Find a press of the thumbs against the sternum and then fill up that space of your chest with a breath in, before just opening your mouth and washing the air out again. So your next breath out will be a hum. We inhale to prepare. As you breathe in, send your palms to the sky. And on your exhale, let's bring the thumbs to the forehead for kind thoughts, connecting your thumbs to your lips for kind words, and connecting your thumbs to your heart for kind actions. Thank you for sharing your beautiful practice with me this evening. Namaste.